Let's see. If you are not married in the church and not in a state of grace, can you still receive the sacrament of confession? Well, there are two parts to that. Obviously, if you're not in a state of grace, you can receive the sacrament of confession. That's what it's for. But I know the question you're asking, and it's a very good question. If you're not married, you're Catholic, okay? You're Catholic, you weren't married in the church. Can you go to confession? Well, yes. You can go to confession, but remember what confession involves. It involves the confession of the sins, but it also involves contrition. And an integral part of contrition is a firm purpose of amendment. And so, people that aren't married in the church, if you're Catholic, okay, you're Catholic, you're not married in church. Are you married? No. No. You're not validly married. If you're Catholic and you're married by the justice of the peace, are you married in the eyes of God? No. So your sexual relations, what are they? They're outside the sacred context of matrimony. So, I hate to use the word fornication, but technically speaking, you're not married and you're having sex. So that's the sin. And so you say, but I want to go to confession. God bless you. Good. Let's go to confession. So you make your confession. Bless me, Father. And you tell the story and you say, but I want to be reconciled with God. And you do what I did one time. And I said, well, that's great. Now, are you resolved to get your marriage straightened out, if it's possible? Yes. Good. Are you resolved to live as brother and sister until that happens? Now, there's the kicker. If you go to confession, you have to have contrition, and part of contrition is a firm purpose of amendment. And so you're not going to commit fornication if you want to be reconciled with God. And so, while your marriage is being straightened out, you agree to live perfect chastity in celibacy. And that's a difficult thing to do. That's a real sacrifice. That's a real sacrifice. What's love? Love's a decision. Love is sacrificial. If I love you, I want the highest and best thing for you. Yes, I do. Well, do you love me? Yes. Well, can you give that up for me and for us for a while? If you love me, you will. If you don't love me enough, you won't. And so, yes, you can go to confession, but remember that contrition is an integral part of confession, and in order to have contrition, you have to have a firm purpose of amendment. So you won't have any sexual relations until you're validly married. And then you can go to confession and you can receive the sacraments. Okay, the husband and wife agree. We're going to straighten this out. Let's go to confession. They confess the sin, they get absolution, they've made an agreement and a decision. No sex. Can they go to communion? Yes. Yes. They're in a state of grace. They confess their sins. They have a firm purpose of amendment. They've received absolution, done penance. And they're on their way towards being straightened out. Now, what happens if it comes back and says, let's say one of them was married validly before? Then they have a decision. They can continue to live as brother and sister indefinitely in a state of grace, or they can separate. But they certainly can't revert back to a sexual relationship which is seriously sinful. That's just not an option if you want to stay in God's grace.